Hey everybody, it's Kyle coming to you from my car, but I did bring the Zoom mic, which is hopefully sounding pretty good to you. I've got a quick run, some errands. We got this big swim team banquet thing tonight, so I told you guys about that in the regular episode. This is a special report, by the way. But yeah, it's a lot of hullabaloo, a lot of running around, getting stuff done, helping the wife with this, because this is it after this, and then next year, and then that is it, period, for that type of thing. So it's something that's kind of been building up all year, and she's worked hard to get things ready for everybody, especially the seniors, make it a special night for them. So I'm lending a hand and helping her by running some errands. Okay, what's the special report about? Well, a couple things. Number one, really the main point of it is this. I don't know how many of you have ever had a situation where, probably everybody's had this, where you wake up in the middle of the night and then you can't get back to sleep, your head starts running, and you're worrying about all kinds of shit that there's nothing you can do about right then, and probably nothing you can do about it at all, ever. So, but man, I hate that. And I've had that happen a couple times really this week. But it's been a real hassle, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and talk about some of the thoughts and things that were going through my head the other night. And please, I'm fine. Okay. But I'm sure everybody has these thoughts. They just don't get on a podcast and tell others about them. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. But long story short, yeah, it's quite a situation, and it definitely messed me up for sure this week. Just temporarily on sleep, but then we had another situation last night. This gaming thing, dude. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. It's been a struggle, man, and I've figured out how to turn off the Ethernet. But then last night I woke up like one of these situations I'm talking about, because I heard something. I didn't wake up. I just started to fall asleep. And while I was starting to fall asleep, I heard more of this talking and shit. And so, the common excuse is, oh, well, that's my television. I'm not up doing anything. I fall asleep to my TV. Okay, well, set the TV timer so that it goes off. Never happens. And hearing it, because I got up and I went to the restroom, I knew damn well it was not the TV. So I went to the room, and lo and behold, nope, this person's gaming at like 3:30 in the morning. And I just was like, how are you doing this? That's the first thing I asked. And the answer was, I'm playing over Wi-Fi. Like, what? You're gaming over Wi-Fi? That really sucks for other people that you're playing with. And it also really sucks for you, because you're not going to be doing it anymore after tonight. I was pissed, man. I said a lot of things that had been bothering me and about the selfishness of this shit and keeping people awake, and the lying, and the deceiving, getting on when damn well I shut it off for a reason. And it's not because I'm just trying to be mean. It's because you can't shut the fuck up. Keep your voice down. And it's just, anyway, regardless, I ended up unplugging the internet, period, to the whole house, because I didn't know what else to do. And I guess I could have just turned off Wi-Fi, but, I was tired. And this thing that really sucks about it is it took me, because I came back into the room after I shut off the internet and everything, and I came back into the room to go to bed, and my wife woke up then. And I had already asked this person to be quiet earlier, and then their sibling asked them that too, like, hey, yeah, please. And no response, nothing. They were just still playing. And when I caught them, then I was like, man, you don't have to worry about it now, because now I'm going to go, I kind of took it easy, just shutting off the Ethernet thing. I was kind of leaving it for the phone and everything to use and all that stuff. Now I'm going to shut all that fucking shit off. And that's all the more there is to it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on my way tonight, not right now, but tonight I will be on my way after this banquet. So it's going to be a late night. I only got like 3 hours and 12 minutes of sleep, which fucking sucks. And, then I have to get up and work, Anyway, I'm headed tonight. I'm going to go get this TP-Link Wi-Fi 6 router. It's a gaming router. And I mean, normally this thing is like $140, $150. And this guy's got one I found on Facebook Marketplace. He had it for $60, but I said, hey man, I can give you $50 today by the end of the day. We take it, and then he had someone else look, and he was talking with them about it. Then they kind of weaseled out and fell through. So he contacted me back and said, yeah, man, they fell through. Yeah, I'll take $50 for it. So I'm going to head up there later on tonight. And it's probably going to be late, which sucks, because I won't be able to get back and get this set up. But I'm going to head up there tonight, and I'm going to pick this thing up. This thing has controls on it for me to use an app with in order to block certain people at certain times. Anything, their Wi-Fi, their Ethernet, all that shit. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. There's only one room that the Ethernet goes to where these rooms are. And so, yeah, I'll be shutting that off. And then I'll also be shutting off that Wi-Fi every night at the same time. And this is all because this gaming stuff is just out of control. And it's an addiction too. And it bothers me a little bit. It makes me worry about someone being able to gain control again of their life. Because if you can't stop it with the loud yelling and shit like that, and then you can't stop it with the loud talking and shit like that, you just can't stop it. Even though you've been warned over and over and over again, and asked over and over and over again before that 1,000 times for months and months, and you still can't control yourself enough to stop it, then it's out of control. And so now I have to, tonight later on, I'm going to have to drive to go get this thing and be up even later this evening because it's a ways away, man. It's like 40 minutes away, I think, is what I looked at the map. And that sucks, man. Again, more money and more time and more lack of sleep. But believe you me, that shit's going to be shut off. Probably not tonight, but I bet it'll be shut off tomorrow. I might just stay up tonight and make sure it is shut off tonight. Because I'm not going to put up with this shit any longer, dude. I'm worn out on it. I'm tired. And if this person can't start to... and that's what I said last night. That the main gist of it was, of course, I'll leave out the curse words, because there were curse words. It was 3-something in the morning. But I said, you have an addiction. You have an addiction to this gaming stuff, and you can't control it. You can't control it enough to put some order into your life. I'm not expecting someone who's young to be able to understand everything in our society or in our world. I'm not, man. I sure as shit didn't. But I also sure as shit never sat and gamed all night and yelled and hooted and hollered and woke my parents and siblings with this shit. So anyway, that's that deal right there is a big source of anger and frustration for me right now, as you can tell. And it also is a big source of pain because I feel like this person just doesn't care. This person just doesn't care that there are other people who live in this house and really pay for this house and pay for everything here. And they don't give a shit enough to control it. And if they don't have control, to fess up and say, hey, look, man, I think I can't control this. Can I get some help? And I know that's hard to do too. I get it. When you're young, dude, you're invincible, right? You're not going to admit fallibility. You know what I meant. Yeah, you don't want to admit that you're fallible, right? Your fallibility, that's what I was trying to say. But, so I get that. But at the same time, yeah, you don't understand how many hours I've laid in bed awake listening to this shit. And even during the day, during work, when there's no school and stuff, you'll hear this person screaming and yelling, playing this game. And that's just, I work down in the basement. I can't really hear that, but my wife works up in the kitchen area, and she's trying to work. And to be honest with you, her work is crucial. We need that. I mean, she makes good money, and we can't deal with this shit anymore. So I talked to the person today. I said, and my wife brought it up. She brought this up. And she has a good point. The big problem here is that this person doesn't understand that this makes me feel bad because it makes me feel like I'm failing as a parent, as a father, and I know realistically I'm not, but I do feel like I have maybe in the empathy angle, on the empathy angle of things, because why the fuck would you continue to do that? Number one, if you knew it bothers people that love and care about you and that you love and care about. And then number two, why would you do that and mess with people who pay for all the shit around you your whole entire life? And number three, why would you do that to someone who goes out of their way every single time to help you when you need something, So it's just really, it makes me feel horrible, and it makes me feel like I'm raising somebody who is not doing well, not being good, not giving a shit about anyone else. And I'll be honest with you, in our society, we got enough of that fucking shit. We don't need any help. I don't need to be donating any more to that cause because our world is full of it. If you don't believe me, just go to the grocery store or go drive around. People are fucking horrible to each other. They don't give a fuck about anybody. And I wonder where we've learned that from. I wonder who that makes so much noise almost every single day of our lives could have convinced people that it's okay to be a fucking asshole all the time to other people and don't give a fuck about what they think or say. Wonder who that could be. Got some ideas. I'm sure you do too. But I don't want to raise somebody who acts like that. And the interesting thing is when I talk to other families and parents and stuff at other places where this person goes with their friends or whatever, I always hear how great they are and how kind and nice and all that. And I think to myself, well, I'd like to get a little of that, What the fuck, man? I mean, dude, I was hard on my mom. I was. And my stepdad, and I was kind of a mess in some respects. But at the same time, I did respect them. I just was growing up, going through the teenage years, man. Everybody goes through it. And I get that. I get making mistakes. What I don't get is those mistakes being pointed out to you and 80 more times you doing the same exact thing. to cause the same exact mistake. And that pisses me off. So that's why later tonight I'm going to go purchase something that's going to completely put the fucking kibosh on this deal, and we'll be done with it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. So anyway, that's what's going on there. So now onto the subject of why I've been waking up, or the thoughts and feelings and stuff that I've been having when I wake up in the middle of the night, and why I can't go back to sleep. I mean, there's a lot of things, but I can tell you a relatively newer one that I've never really experienced before now. And that is, I have worried a little bit about drinking. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy having a drink. I enjoy tequila, but I do feel like sometimes I'm in a situation where I'm just bored, so I drink. And that sucks. Now, I know we all kind of went through that during COVID. Not all of us. There's some do-gooders out there who could probably use a cocktail. But I know we all went through that shit. And even my doctor back then was like, look, man, you got to slow down on the drinking, because I can tell by your blood here that you know. And I said, oh, yeah. And I got it under control and everything and all that. But still, that's worrisome. But then on top of that, lately, it's been even more worrisome. It's been a lot of situations where, and I don't know, maybe this has a little bit to do with spending so much time on this reseller thing. It probably does, because I feel like I work all day and then I work at night. And I know there's a certain level of that you just have to do in order to get this thing off the ground and get going. But at the same time, you feel like you really need that drink after that day. So I have been a little worried about that. And when I've been trying to fall back asleep, when I wake up in the middle of the night, that's one of those things I've worried about. And the reason why is just my family history. A lot of drinking involved in my family history. As I've told you guys before, my father was 35 years old when he had 2 strokes within 24 hours and died as a result of being an alcoholic. 35, I can't even imagine that. Anyway, so there's that. Then on top of that, I had gone to live with my grandparents when this was all going on, because my mother was in the hospital, and they were alcoholics. I mean, especially my grandfather. My grandmother, not as much. She was kind of a binge drinker. She would go every once in a while with him, and they'd go to the country club or something like that and get shit-faced and fight. And then I'd be like 13 years old. This is no shit. 12, 13 years old, fucking driving them home in this Delta 98 of my grandfather's, and they'd be fighting the whole way. Yeah. Which, it's already scary enough you're driving when you're 12 or 13 years old. It's real scary when motherfuckers are loud as hell and fighting. One of them sitting next to you and the other one sitting in the back seat. So, there's that aspect. And then on top of that, my mother obviously had a pretty bad drinking problem there towards the end. And it's something I had talked with her about before she passed away. And she just, years before, and she just didn't want to do anything about it. And she, essentially both of my parents drank themselves to death, just at different ages, man. And I don't want to do that. That's what it's about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I have trouble going back to sleep. Because there's a part of me that thinks, well, shit, this is inside of me. I'm going to do this. I mean, I can't control this, just like this guy couldn't control it. This person can't control their gaming. All that shit's just flying through my head. And then you start worrying about all these other things, like what's going to happen? What's life going to be like? Are these people going to be sad and bummed out and everything when I'm gone? And all kinds of crazy things. Like how long until my wife starts dating again? Just really defeatist, horrible thoughts. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's what I've been going through. That's what I've been dealing with, and it sucks, man. On top of these other stressors, and on top of that, we've got my mother-in-law, my wife's mom, has been really sick and had to go in the hospital. She had pneumonia. Um, they ended up getting that sorted out. She's back in the home now. She's in an old folks home. She's been there. She went in like 3 or 4 months before my mom got sick and passed away. So, not maybe a year and a half ago, I guess, something like that. And then, yeah, mom passed away just a little bit over a year ago. But so there's that stressor, and then there's the stressor of work in general. I mean, I'm busy at work. I've got a lot of things, and I don't know how I'm supposed to, after a little bit over 3 hours of sleep, get up and fucking be creative, creating things. I'll see if I can find a link to, it may not be up yet, so I'm not going to find a link yet, but when these things I'm working on go up, I will send you guys a link in the notes or whatever, so you can kind of see what I've been up to. But the point is that there's just a lot going on. It's very stressful. Once again, even though, Mikey gave me the best advice ever. And he said to me once, the past is long gone. The future is uncertain. You can't control the future, really. All you really have is right now. And at first when he said that, I was like, what? But the more I think about it, that's true. And so when you are in a situation where you start to feel like you have no control over right now, things get a little hectic. And that's kind of what's been going on with all this stress. And then we got the whole thing with the gaming deal, and feeling like maybe I haven't done such a great job as a dad. It's been kind of a rough deal. So that's what I wanted to have a special report on. I don't know if anybody who listens to this has had any of these thoughts and feelings and stuff. And, if you felt like there is no solution and you felt like you want to die, then you need to talk to somebody. I don't feel that way. I just feel like, I don't feel hopeless. I just feel like, what the fuck, man? Aren't I supposed to be feeling good right about now? Yeah. So there you go. That's it, guys. That's all I really had. I just wanted to have a special report for you guys, talk a little bit about that. If you've had any feelings like that, and that's that late night anxiety and that feeling of, oh boy, if you've had any of that in your life, you've woken up in the middle of the night and not been able to go back to sleep. I think I've told you guys a little bit about some of the stuff that a therapist helped me with as far as going, well, is this something that I can solve? Is this a problem I can solve right now? Okay, is this a problem I can solve tomorrow? Okay, is this a problem I can solve at all? And I honestly think that does work to a certain extent. Sometimes it's just very overwhelming and it doesn't work because there's just too much. And that's kind of what's been going on with me, and that's what I'm talking about here. So I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way, or if you would want to talk about it, if you want to comment to me about it, or anything at all, if you feel like you would want to discuss it, I would be more than happy to talk with you about it and listen to what you have to say and, give you my 2 cents on it, or just listen to you. Sometimes it's great just to have somebody listen to you. And I would be more than willing to listen to you. If you'd like to do what I'm doing right now and be public about it and share that, it does help people. And so I'm more than willing to do that as well. But I just wanted to kind of run that past you guys and just see if, I know I'm not the only one that's felt this way, but just see if there's anyone else out there who's kind of struggled with that a little bit. Because it sucks. I don't care for it at all, personally. All right, guys, that's all I got. I will get back with you soon. I appreciate you guys listening. There'll be a regular episode next week. Do me a favor, get off my lawn.